It made me reflect on affirmations and how really, I think in the love and light and spiritual world, we are taught that affirmations can be the saving grace and that we can reprogram our subconscious by just listening to audio tracks. What I've really learned and what I've realized with affirmations is they still have a very important role to play, and I still think they are an amazing tool. The way I like to look at them as is that affirmations are more about closing a negative loop in your mind. So what I mean by this is we all have stories that are on repeat. We have stories and thoughts that are running the show, and we might not have awareness for them yet. Hello, my beautiful friend, and welcome back to Magnetic with Madelyn. This is a podcast show where we chat about self-leadership, identity, magnetism, and you really owning the magic that is you. It has taken me a lot of years to get to the point of really truly owning my magic, but we all honestly come to earth with our own unique magic. We come here for a purpose, for a reason. And unfortunately, as we move through life, society, school, environments tell us a different story. But I really believe that our 30s are the most beautiful and potent time to reconnect with that magic that is you, that beautiful inner child, the gift that you came to earth with. And that's a lot of what I share about on this podcast, is how we can connect back into being our truest, most authentic expression. So thank you for being here. I love our episodes together. I love chatting to you. Big shout out to my beautiful friend, G Black, a beautiful Georgina, who was on the last episode of the podcast. We have had so many beautiful messages from you about that episode. G just shared so much wisdom, so much knowledge. To think she's only 29 is just well beyond me, but she's one of the wisest souls. So if you're yet to listen to that episode, please make sure you go back and tune in. We spoke all about doing the work and what it actually means. I guess the more ugly, uncomfortable side of actually doing the inner work, healing that inner child so that you can live a life of true purpose, of true meaning, of true fulfillment. But before we get into today's episode, I want to share the most genius hack with you. So just before I got into the studio, I had a little snack, and I don't know about you, but I feel more pressure to eat protein and drink creatine than I did to have all-nighters when I was in my 20s. Obviously, having protein and creatine is much healthier than having an all-nighter, but I feel like there is so much pressure on the internet, all for good reason. But I have personally always struggled to get my protein intake in. So in my gorgeous little handbag here, this handbag is actually from, if you're watching on video, if you're not, you definitely should be watching on video. We are on Spotify now, full video. But this handbag is from my beautiful friend Erin at Here, There, Everywhere. I get so many compliments on it. But in my handbag, I have some protein-dense, high-protein snacks from Chief Nutrition, one of my favorite brands. I absolutely love their products, but they are helping me so much to get my protein intake in every day. So I have got their like smoky barbecue. It's like almost like jerky, but better. These, if you can see, I've already downed this pack. I had it before I came into the studio, but these are the best like on the go little hacks to have in your handbag. And then inside my handbag, I also have the beef brisket bar, which is 18.4 grams of protein. Can you believe that? 18.4 grams of protein in one bar. So this, and then also the double choc, which my daughter and I are obsessed with, which is a Chief Collagen protein bar. Double choc has 14 grams of protein. So they stay in my handbag as my handy little snacks that I can have as a busy mum who always has a million and one things on her schedule. So if you too are always on the go, always busy, really struggling with your protein intake, make sure you check out Chief. They have the best range of protein bars, beef snacks, all super delicious. I buy my daughter the beef sticks for her lunchbox every day, and it is guaranteed to be eaten. So anyway, a handy little hack I wanted to share with you because it is saving me energetically at the moment, having those little protein snacks in my handbag ready to go. But today I want to talk about my personal take on affirmations, meditation, and visualization. I want to preface this with a little disclaimer that we are always evolving as humans. So what I share right now is my belief and my truth right now, but I also know that I'm always evolving. I'm always learning. I'm actually currently doing my meditation and regulation teacher training, the certificate, with my beautiful friend Rochelle Fox. I'll actually put some details on it in the show notes because it is so amazing. And I soon am going to be able to lead meditations and visualizations, which I'm so excited for because I feel like it's literally my calling to hold space, create space for women to, step into their next evolution. But this is my personal take at the moment from my own lived experience and for what I know so far from my own healing and growth journey. But I used affirmations for years and years and years. And I believe in the power of affirmations. Please don't get me wrong. I believe so deeply in them. But I do think now in hindsight, I was using them wrong because what I've learned now and what I'm continuing to learn is obviously the difference between our conscious and our subconscious brain. So when we come to earth, we obviously, are here for a reason, for a purpose. We have our soul, our soul came here and we have all of this unique magic locked in us. But as we move and evolve as humans, certain things, I guess we get told how to be, how to show up. And some of that is safe and some of that is unsafe. And genuinely we would dictate what is safe and what is unsafe based on how we're receiving love. So if we do something and we receive love from it, we will see that as safe. If we do something and we don't receive love, we'll see that as unsafe. Doesn't mean that it's a good thing. It doesn't mean that it's something that's actually serving us. It just depends on the environment in which we're in. So a lot of the work I'm doing at the moment personally is healing that inner child. And what I've realized through this is my conscious brain has been wired, I would say, in a very positive, healthy way. But my subconscious, which is actually technically running the show, is not in alignment with my conscious brain. And I would say, I shouldn't assume, but I would say that's maybe the case for a lot of us in some aspects of our life. So when I was using affirmations around money, they would never work. I could say an affirmation or listen to an affirmation track at night or do a million meditations around money affirmations and they would not land. Maybe sometimes I would have this quick little win or this window of time where I would make more money one month than I did in the past. But nothing would ever permanently stick. And I got so frustrated because I'd read all the books, I did all the affirmations. I feel like I've downloaded a million meditations all around money. But now what I realize from doing this therapy is it's because my subconscious is constantly fighting my conscious brain. So the affirmations I'm telling myself are sitting in my conscious brain as that is the truth, but my subconscious is fighting against them saying, no, that is not the truth. You are not safe to make that much money. You cannot be financially responsible. All the stories, all the things. And that is all based on childhood and, programming that I have picked up along the way. So that is a lot of the deep work that I'm doing at the moment. But it made me reflect on affirmations and how really, I think, in the love and light and spiritual world, we are taught that affirmations can be the saving grace and that we can reprogram our subconscious by just listening to audio tracks. And yes, I agree to some point you can, but there can't be a huge disalignment between the conscious and the subconscious. The moment there is, that is when there will be a block and affirmations won't work. So for me with money, there's a really big block between my conscious and my subconscious. Other things like me living in my purpose, me showing up for, my work. Like there's not a huge disconnect. So consciously those affirmations can impact. And so what I've really learned and what I've realized with affirmations is they still have a very important role to play. And I still think they are an amazing tool. But the way I like to look at them is that affirmations are more about, for me personally, and how I would encourage you to use them, is more about closing a negative loop in your mind. So what I mean by this is we all have stories that are on repeat. We have stories and thoughts that are running the show, and we might not have awareness for them yet. So the first step is actually to bring awareness to one of your negative loops or stories that you have. One of mine years ago that I caught myself out on was whenever I would have a hard day with my kids, I would say that motherhood was really hard. I'd be like, this is so hard. I can't do this. I don't like motherhood. So I would have to catch that thought. And I would say, I'm having that thought again where I think I don't like motherhood or I think motherhood is really hard. So first I would disassociate or like not connect, not identify with the loop. And then I would have an affirmation that would basically close that energy loop. So I'm a beautiful mother who loves being present with her kids and today is just a hard day. That would ultimately close off that negative loop of the story. Because when we have a story on repeat, our mind is just it's asking for an answer. It's like it wants an answer. And the moment that we actually answer it is the moment that we close that energy loop and we can focus on other things. So your homework for this, to be able to use affirmations in a really empowering way, is to actually have first awareness for the negative story or the negative loop. Maybe it's around not being good enough, not being worthy enough, having self-doubt, not feeling ready, whatever it is. Bring awareness to the negative thought that is constantly there. And then I want you to come up with an empowering affirmation that you are going to use every time you need to close. You bring awareness to that energy, that story, and you close that energy loop.
Because I have met so many of my listeners now over the years, and I know there are just so many common threads between us. So one thing that I really value is obviously health and the way that we feed ourselves as a family, the food that we eat. But sometimes time just does not allow for me to prioritize that as much as I would like. And that is the honest truth. That is honestly the truth, that sometimes time is not on my side. So 2 hacks that have really helped me to stay a lot more true to this. Also make sure that there's always a really healthy, nourishing snack in the fridge for my kids are these 2 game changers. So the first one is making a batch of chia pudding every Sunday night. It is the easiest thing that you will do, and it will save you so much time, but also guarantee that you are having something really healthy and nourishing to feed yourself or your children. Super simple. All I do is chia seeds, roughly a cup to a cup and a half. I put them in a big jar or some form of glassware, and then I add roughly 1 liter of cocoa quench from Pure Harvest. So I choose Pure Harvest because it is good for you. It is clean. It's organic. There is no preservatives, additives, gums, nasties like a lot of the other BS on the supermarket shelves. So I just put both of those into a jar and I whisk them with a fork. You do really have to make sure you get the kind of clumps out. So give it a good whisk, and then it goes in the fridge and it literally sets like jelly. And then all you need to do is serve it with either a coconut yogurt, muesli, some frozen raspberries. That's probably my go-to, and a scoop of collagen powder. And you've already got yourself a really nourishing bowl of goodness that is going to support your gut health and support your energy levels. And then for the kids, I literally just scoop out a few scoops of the chia pudding, put it in a container with some frozen raspberries, and I send them off to school and kinder with their little snack pack of chia pudding. If they're hungry after dinner, the only option for dessert is chia pudding. And honestly, they love it. They ask me for it all the time, and it is already ready to go in the fridge because I prep it every Sunday. And I say it lasts probably like 5 to 6 days. It never really lasts that long in my house, I won't lie. The second thing I love to do is actually to make my coffee the night before. One, this is a game changer for time, but also I really love eating breakfast before I have my coffee. So I brew the coffee the night before, just 1 shot. Then I add Pure Harvest unsweetened almond milk and a little bit of either their honey or their rice malt syrup. So both the rice malt syrup and the honey is found in a jar at your local Coles, Woolies or independent grocers, and a little bit of sweetener. Then first thing in the morning, I get it out. It's nice and chilled. I add 2 scoops of a really high quality collagen powder. Give her a little whisk and you have the most creamy, delicious, ready to go iced coffee. It is so good. You could obviously also do this with warm coffee if you want to add your honey or rice malt syrup, but it is so creamy and delicious and honestly takes me about 2 seconds in the morning because all I need to do is add the collagen and give her a whisk. So they are 2 ways that I'm really boosting my nutrition levels, but also making sure that I have stuff ready to go so that time is not the reason why I'm not nourishing and fueling my body. So make sure you give both of those easy little hacks a go. You can shop Pure Harvest's full range of organic natural products at Coles, Woolworths, or your local independent grocer shop Australia-wide. I've been choosing Pure Harvest for over 7 years. They are family owned, family operated, the most beautiful team and family of people. I absolutely adore working with them, but I also just love what they stand for. They honestly are the cleanest ingredients that are good for you and will support your health. When you're going to choose non-dairy milks, please make sure you're choosing Pure Harvest. Thank you so much to them for sponsoring another episode of the podcast, and let's get back into the remainder of this episode. So when we were moving to the Gold Coast, everyone around me, like everyone would say, oh my goodness, the Gold Coast market, it's so crazy. The rental market is so hard. It took months and months for us to get a rental, and people were like, aren't you nervous? Aren't you overwhelmed? Oh my God, I don't know how you're doing it right now. Like people were placing so much of their overwhelm on me. And when I would feel myself falling into that, I don't feel like I fell into it much, but when I did, because I'm human, we're all human, we all have moments of weakness, especially if I'm on my period, or having, just a big week and feeling stretched, I would tell myself as soon as that overwhelm of like not getting a place, me maybe being crazy and too optimistic of where I think we could live, I would catch it. Okay, I'm having that thought again where I feel like we're not going to get a house in the Gold Coast. And then I would say, but I am choosing to trust the process, trust the unfolding, because whatever is meant for me will always find me. That's all I do. And I do that on repeat as many times as I needed. And it would literally close that energy loop and allow me to continue my day in the energy of abundance, optimism, because I was trusting the unfolding, and I was reminding my mind that we were trusting the unfolding, not falling into the overwhelm. So that's a little personal take on how I personally love to use affirmations. So you can have a wide variety of these. Maybe you're going through a career change. Maybe you've got health issues, in your family or personally. Maybe you're going through, similar to me, relationships change and separation, like whatever it is for you, just have that affirmation that is linked directly to that story that holds fear or a limiting belief or doubt. And every time it pops in, bring awareness to it and close the energy loop by saying that affirmation a few times over. That is how I believe affirmations are incredibly powerful, unless you have done the deep subconscious work where your conscious mind and your subconscious are in deep alignment. Then you can ultimately play with your beliefs a lot faster and a lot quicker because they're not fighting against each other. They're in direct alignment. The next modality I want to speak about is meditation. This is also such a beautiful, beautiful practice, a beautiful ritual to have, and something that is so needed in this world. If you live a fast-paced life, if you have a lot of balls in the air or wear a lot of different titles, you need to meditate. Meditation is literally a game-changing tool, and it is why so many successful people, 1, do it regularly, and 2, speak about it so deeply and so passionately, because it will change your life. It will ultimately change your life, but it will not change your subconscious beliefs. It will not physically change the programming, but it will regulate you. This is my belief to date. This is my belief right now as I'm speaking to you. Meditation is a wonderful support tool to regulate your nervous system in a period of time or in a moment of time. When you do it regularly,
it will alter your nervous system. It will help keep you in a calmer state. So I would say that meditation should become part of your practice. Maybe it is first thing in the morning. For a long time, when I first had 2 children, I was very dysregulated. The moment I would open my eyes, I'd have my headphones next to me and I would plug in a meditation. A lot of the time I'd fall back to sleep listening to it, but it was such a beautiful ritual to literally be able to just like calm my nervous system in the morning instead of jumping straight out of bed to like kids screaming or asking for breakfast or, a dirty nappy change. So however it can fit into your life right now, do not make it have to be perfect. Do not make it have to be one way. Maybe it's on your morning walk. You have a meditation that you listen to. Rochelle Fox has a beautiful walking meditation that's available on Spotify. It's called Main Character Energy. It's freaking epic. It'll literally get you buzzing. So do that if you want to really step into that main character energy vibes. Or just download some meditations, grab some off Spotify. Like there's so many ways to listen to meditations now. Georgie Stevenson's Rise app is another incredible way. You'll have them all in the app in your pocket. You can just put them on in the morning. Go for your beach walk. Do it the moment you wake up. Do it in your drive on the car. Like sometimes I just put a meditation in when I'm in the car. And no, I don't close my eyes, but I still do the breathing. I'm present in the moment. I'm like listening to something that's actually altering my nervous system. So inject meditation into your rituals, because it is going to be a beautiful nervous system regulation tool that is ultimately going to give you more capacity to be able to be stepping into the version of yourself and showing up as the version of yourself that you truly desire. When we are talking about identity upgrades and shifting, strengthening parts of us for new versions of self, you need more capacity. You need capacity to hold more than you currently are, because you are currently at a certain threshold, and unless you create more capacity through space and through regulation tools, you're not going to be able to hold anything extra. So having these affirmations that are going to close those negative stories or the loop, because ultimately those stories are draining energy because it's an open loop. So if you think of an open loop spinning, think of a fan that just spins all day long. It's literally draining energy. It's costing you money in your home because it's draining energy. So the moment that you turn that fan switch off through the affirmation, you're stopping that energy from flowing. So that is what we want to do. That is then giving you that little bit more capacity because that energy loop's closed. And then we're using meditation as a regulation tool to calm the nervous system, which again is giving you that little bit more bandwidth or that capacity, which then gives you the capacity to actually intentionally focus on the version of self you're strengthening that day. So you show up more regulated. You show up responding in a way that is in alignment with the version of self you want to be. You show up calmer for your children, which is all ultimately shifting your identity into a new timeline, into a new version of self. And all of these little micro moments are shifting your timeline. The more that you can do this, it's like a compounding effect over time that will gradually shift you into a new timeline because you're shifting your version of self. It's really freaking powerful shit. I'm not lying. But I also believe it has to come with the subconscious work at some point when you feel ready. The final tool that I'm really passionate about and that I love and I want to share in this is visualization. I will preface that I do believe visualization becomes a lot more powerful and stronger when you have done the subconscious reprogramming. So you're a much clearer channel, because obviously those limitations, the self-doubt, the lack of self-worth, whatever it is that your subconscious is working against, like all of those blocks have been removed and reprogrammed to be in alignment with your conscious brain when you have done the subconscious reprogramming. So the therapist I personally work with at the moment is Levi. He's Mind and Body Guy on Instagram. If you want to check him out, that's the kind of really deep therapy trauma work that I'm doing with inner child and subconscious reprogramming. Another amazing therapist is Jess Alla. She has a lot of therapists that work under her, including Crystal Lang, who's amazing therapist. She's been trained in Aruka under Jess Alla. So she's someone you could look at. And also Hayley from Before You Bloom. She again has worked with Jess under Aruka. And my beautiful friend Shelley Rose as well. Again, she's Aruka trained under Jess Alla. But there's some amazing therapists if you want to start kind of doubling into this subconscious reprogramming work. But where I was going with that is once you remove those blocks, you become a very clear channel for the manifestations because you're in direct alignment. You're not holding any shame, guilt, resentment, grief, whatever it is that you're, overachiever, like whatever those strategies and beliefs that you have, you're not holding them anymore because you've cleared that density. So you become a very clear channel. So visualization is very powerful then, but I also think visualization has probably been the most powerful tool for me to date, one of the most powerful tools for sure, until I really got serious about this subconscious reprogramming work. And the reason why I believe it works is because your mind doesn't know the difference between like present, past, or future. So when you are really in deep meditation and visualizing, if you are literally connecting with a higher timeline with your future self, and your mind doesn't know the difference. So it'll start to search for evidence of that being your reality. And when you can do visualization regularly, I do like the same visualization every night. I actually pair mine with hypnosis. So I have a personalized hypnosis track that is ultimately helping to program my mind with the reality that I want to experience. And then I visualize with that as I fall to sleep. But Dr. Joe Dispenza is also one of the most amazing people to do visualization work with. He's so, so cool. And soon I will be doing visualization work with you as well. But the way that I think visualization, why it's so powerful is I really like to see it as, well, one, my affirmation or my kind of mantra with visualization is I'm wildly capable of achieving my mind's desires. I'm worthy of my mind's desires. I'm capable or I'm worthy, whatever I kind of intuitively lean into, but like I am wildly capable of achieving my mind's desires. I am worthy of achieving my mind's desires. This is a really kind of powerful thing to lean into with visualization because the book Big Magic explains this so well. Like you have been planted and gifted these visualizations, these desires, these pulls for a reason. And the universe literally plants them in your mind and in your heart because you are the one that is so capable of achieving them. They're not given to everyone. Not everyone has the same desire, the same, intuitive pull towards something. And that's because the universe is literally planting it to you. And you have this like beautiful window of time where you can bring that to life, or else someone else will. Someone else will. And that is why often we look around and we're like, oh my God, I had that idea for that jewelry brand and now so-and-so's gone and made the beaded jewelry and she's exploding because she acted on the visualization, on the mind's desire. But we are also capable of achieving our mind's desires. So really honing in on visualization, I think one, creates a really clear pathway to what it is that you want to bring to life. Two, it makes you so freaking excited for the future. And three, it shows you how powerful you actually are, because when you can have visualizations and then bring them into your own reality, that is showing you that you are actually a queen manifestor, that you are a freaking powerful human being who has the ability to bring their mind's desires into reality. We all have that ability. You just have to be courageous enough. You have to be willing enough to go for it. You have to be willing enough to follow those pulls, follow those visualizations despite any other evidence around you. The book Big Magic is one of the best reads that I have honestly ever read, and it is truly because she speaks so deeply into this concept around creative ideas, our unique magic as humans. And I really believe the best way to tap into that and our uniqueness is through visualization. It will give you so much faith, purpose, excitement, momentum for your future. So this is how I use these 3 tools and how I believe they are the most effective. And I believe that we should all be harnessing them. There's a reason why these tools are here. There is a reason why there is so much science, evidence, thought leaders speaking about it, because they are powerful tools. But they do need to be accompanied by the deeper inner child subconscious work to be wildly, wildly powerful. But they're also a beautiful, gentle starting point to really get you in the flow of trusting your own magic, of trusting your own power, of trusting your intuition, of allowing you to build faith and deep connection with the universe, with source, and with your own higher self. So have fun with this. Let me know what resonated and, how you kind of see and use these practices. But honestly, I love this work so much. It's so powerful. And I hope you got something out of this episode. I'll be back in your ears again next week.